What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. I seen somebody wanted me to check out Eminem Mosh. This song is 16 years old. It's got like 5.6 million views. Yeah, we're gonna check this one out today. I don't know anything about it. I never heard this song before, so we're gonna check it out. We're gonna see what this one's about. So let's get it.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
Oh! I just realized what that was. Y'all understand what that was, right? This right here is literally kind of recreating 9/11. Interesting. So for those of you that remember, it's like morning time, around the time school started, that 9/11 happened. Right? Now, obviously this isn't New York. He's got a water tower with shady on it. So, but you see a plane come over, like a 747 airliner, whatever. That hit the towers.
Scrutinize every word, memorize every line. I spit it once, refuel, re-energize and rewind. I get sight to the blind, mind sight through the mind. I exercise my right to express when I feel it's time. It's just all in your mind, what you interpret it as. I say the fight, you take it as I'ma whip someone's ass. If you don't understand, don't even bother to ask. A father who has grown up with a fatherless past, who has grown up now to rap phenomenon that has, or at least shows no difficulty multitask.
To me, it seems like right now he's just kind of speaking on like his history, where he's come from, where he's at, so on and so forth. And then, I mean, he also talks about where he says to fight, and you take it as I'm gonna whip somebody's ass, where it's not necessarily meant to be taken literally per se. But I also noticed that there's a lot of, I guess you would say, propaganda or whatever else you might want to call it, speaking on Iraq. So the reference to 9/11, and now we're specifically talking or showing a lot of the articles that are more specific towards Iraq. So, which one of the things I want to point out up front, while going to both Iraq and Afghanistan were labeled under the war on terror, they were still two very different wars, and we, in my opinion, were there for two very different reasons. So we should keep that in mind as we proceed forward, since that seems to be
rap phenomenon that has, or at least shows no difficulty multitasking and juggling both. Perhaps mastered his craft slash entrepreneur who has helped launch a few more rap acts, who's had a few obstacles thrown his way through the last half of his career. Typical manure, moving past that. Mr. Kiss his ass crack, he's a class act. Rubber band man, yeah, he just snaps back. Come along, follow me as I lead through the darkness, as I provide just enough spark that we need to proceed. Carry on, give me hope, give me strength. Come with me, and I won't.
Why are we showing that? Like, what's the I don't know. I don't understand the purpose in that, because like I don't know. I mean,
steer you wrong, put your faith and your trust as I guide us through the fog to the light. At the end of the tunnel, we gon' fight, we gon' charge, we gon' storm, we gon' march through the swamp, we gon' march through the marsh, take us right through the doors. up top, on the side, in the middle. Come together, let's all form and storm just a little. Just let it gradually build from the front to the back. All you can see is the sea of people, some white and some.
So to me right now, it's like he's trying to build up that hype, right? He's trying to build everybody up, get them psyched up to fight. Now, and then like he said, like is this fight physical, or is this fight more of a political stance against something? Obviously, I'm getting notes, strong notes, that this happens to be like an anti-war type thing from when we went to Iraq and Afghanistan. This one being more specific to Iraq, because so far I've seen nothing about Afghanistan, and everything in it has to do with Iraq. So
Black, don't matter what color, all that matters, we're gathered together to celebrate for the same cause, no matter the weather. If it rains, let it rain, yeah, the wetter the better. They ain't gonna stop us, they can't, we're stronger now more than ever. They tell us no, we say yeah, they tell us stop, we say go. Rebel with a rebel yell, raise hell, we gon' let them know. Storm, push, shove, mush, fuck Bush, until they bring our troops.
all right, so that I feel sends a quite strong message. Now he's not okay. So this is something clearly is against Bush for sending our troops and myself to, so far, Iraq, because like I said, there's been no mention to Afghanistan just yet. Maybe it's coming. I don't know. But we'll see.
Storm, push, shove, mush, fuck Bush, until they bring our troops home. Come on, just come along, follow me as I lead through the darkness, as I provide just enough spark that we need to proceed. Carry on, give me hope, give me strength, come with me, and I won't steer you wrong. Put your faith and your trust as I guide us through the fog to the light. At the end of the tunnel, we gon' fight, we gon' charge, we gon' storm, we gon' march through the swamp, we gon' march through the marsh, take us right through the doors. Come on, imagine it pouring, it's raining down on us. Mosh pits outside the Oval Office. Someone's trying to tell us something. Maybe this is God just saying we're responsible for this monster, this coward that we have empowered. This is Bin Laden. Look at his head nod.
Okay, so now we're talking about Bin Laden. So Bin Laden has nothing to do with Iraq. Bin Laden was the head of Al Qaeda, which was Afghanistan. Now, we started this out with the attack on the Twin Towers, right? What happened on 9/11, which Bin Laden took. He took full credit for, and we went to Afghanistan because of that. So, in my eyes, people might disagree. I don't care what you say. But in my eyes, us going to Afghanistan, 100% justified. Like, you don't... How do you let somebody come into your country and do those sorts of things and claim it and not do something about it? That doesn't make sense. Furthermore, I've heard all of the things. Like, there's so many people that talk about how we went there for oil and we went there for this or that. We didn't go there for oil. Matter of fact, I don't think we take any oil from Afghanistan to begin with. So, and then like what we get from, matter of fact, what we get from that region, that entire region is like 2% of what we get from the world anyway. So whether it be Iraq or Afghanistan, we don't get much oil from them. But, so anyway, definitely had nothing to do with oil per se. I could probably get on board with somebody saying something to the line of we were there to help protect oil, right? In a sense that it is a production of oil that is sold into the world market, I can get on board with that. That to me sounds actually smart. But our original intent to go to Iraq, I don't agree with. Now, when I went, I'm going to be honest with you. All I knew was 9/11 happened. We were going to war. So I went to war. And it was all about 9/11. I later learned that Iraq was nothing like the only thing about Iraq, and I learned this while I was there. It was all about weapons of mass destruction. And then I'm like, well, why are we not finding anything about weapons of mass destruction? So why are we here? And I then reformed my opinion on Iraq because of it, because we never found any weapons of mass destruction. And I do believe that Bush went to Iraq under the umbrella of war on terror, because there was, I mean, truth be told, there was bad stuff going on similar to Iraq in Afghanistan. Similar, words are hard. There was things happening in Iraq that was similar to what was going on in Afghanistan, as far as like the regimes and stuff controlling people and so on and so forth. All of those things were happening. However, we were still there for the wrong reason. Anyway, moving forward.
If we have been powered, this is Bin Laden. Look at his head nodding. How could we allow something like this without pumping our fists? Now this is our final hour. Let me be the voice and your strength and your choice. Let me simplify the rhyme just to amplify the noise. Try to amplify times it and multiplied by 16 million people are equal at this high pitch. Maybe we can reach Al-Qaeda through my speech. Let the president.
Okay, so there's another reference to, because Al-Qaeda is in Afghanistan. So far, everything that I've seen on here, there's 3 references now to Afghanistan. Everything else has to do with Iraq. Everything that you and if I've missed it, by all means, point me out. I'm cool with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm perfectly fine with being wrong. But like what I'm seeing, all of his references on screen has to do with Iraq, with the exception of Bin Laden. Now him talking about Al Qaeda and the 9/11 incident. So, yeah.
Pitch, maybe we can reach Al-Qaeda through my speech. Let the president answer high anarchy. Strap him with an AK-47, let him go fight his own war. Let him impress daddy that way. No more blood for oil, we got our own.
I'm gonna be 100% honest. I agree with where he stands on that, because if you put the politician in a soldier's shoes and send them out there, I feel as though the decisions that are being made might be quite different, right? And that they would think a little bit more about putting those other people who they don't know, people they've never seen, so on and so forth, the families that are going to be affected by sending them to this war, the effects that the war will have on these individuals post-war. Like, all of these things are not things that are thought about typically by people of that stature, because they never will walk that line. So I do agree with that. However, there is in all of leadership throughout the military, not everybody's going to be on the front line, right? So it's like most of your generals, they're not going to see much front line. if any at all. But at the same time, like, those are the ones that you are, as a soldier, those are the ones that you are depending on to make smart choices in order to carry out the mission, right? And if you put them on the front line, because this is like lessons learned from way back in the day, how they used to fight. And if you put them on the front lines and then they get taken out, the next person in line may not make good choices like they did. So part of that is really, to a certain degree, protecting. It's like, it's not to say that they don't end up on the front lines, because they most certainly do. I've been next to my commander before. I've been next to my sergeant majors before. I mean, they're there too, but it not as often, because we rely on them to make the choices they make to ensure that all the way down to the lowest person has the ability to make it home. So anyway.
Let him impress daddy that way. No more blood for oil. We got our own battles to fight on our own soil. No more psychological warfare to trick us to thinking that we ain't loyal. If we don't serve our own country, we're patronizing a hero. Look in his eyes, it's all.
I disagree with that. Like, I've never heard anywhere where anybody has ever said that if you don't sign up to serve your country, that you're not a patriot, right? Because, and I disagree with that, because of the fact that the military is not for everybody. It's really not. It's a very, very different lifestyle. It carries a very different lifestyle. There's so many things that are just absolutely different about it. And like I said, like, it's for people who tend to be more often rebellious, as we know Eminem to be. Most of those people, not all of them, because I tend to be sometimes, when things don't make sense, I tend to sometimes be a bit rebellious myself. But it's more so because I'm seeking answers to make things make sense. But like I said, military is not for everybody. And I've never heard anybody say that if you didn't serve, that you're a piece of shit or anything like that. So
we don't serve our own country, we're patronizing a hero. Look in his eyes, it's all lies. The stars and stripes, they've been swiped, washed out and wiped, and replaced with his own face. Mosh now or die. If I get sniped tonight, you'll know why. As I told you to fight. Come along, follow me as I lead through the darkness. As I provide just enough spark that we need to proceed. Carry on, give me hope, give me strength. Come with me, and I won't steer you wrong. Put your faith and your trust as I guide us through the fog to the light. At the end of the tunnel, we gon' fight, we gon' charge, we gon' storm, we gon' march.
Is this like storming the Capitol type stuff? Is that what we're influencing here? I'm just saying that's what it looks like. I'm not saying that's what it is, but
at the end of the tunnel, we gon' fight, we gon' charge, we gon' storm, we gon' march through the swamp, we gon' march through the marsh, take us right through the doors, come on. And as we proceed to march through this desert storm, in these closing statements, if they should argue, let us beg to differ, as we set aside our differences, and assemble our own army, to disarm this weapon of mass destruction that we call our president, for the present, and march for the future of our next generation, to speak and be heard. Mr. President, Mr. Senator.
Can you guys hear us?
okay. So I there's some likes and dislikes. I think the beat was on point. I liked it. I liked the fact that he did everything kind of a slower pace than some of the stuff that he does. But I there's some conflicting stuff in there, honestly, in my opinion, because most all of the propaganda that you see posted on whatever walls and stuff like that speak about Iraq, and it's my to my knowledge, we were in Iraq for very different reasons than we were in Afghanistan. They pushed it under the same umbrella as uh they pushed it under the same umbrella, but it was here's the thing, like Bush didn't actually declare war against the country. He declared war against terrorism, right? A lot of people are going to find that to be controversial, but we haven't actually declared war in a really, really, really long time. Now, we did go into Afghanistan. We did go into Iraq. We went under the umbrella of going to war against terror. And there's a lot of people out there to say that we lost that war, but we didn't lose that war. The politicians lost that war 100%. However, as it relates to the song, it's to me a bit not confusing necessarily, but we end up talking about two different things because we're talking about two different fights for two different reasons, because we were in Afghanistan for, in my opinion, the right reason. The people that we were fighting in that country attacked our country. And I'm sorry to say this. Well, no, I'm not. I've said this before. Imagine somebody walking up in front of you and slapping your mom in the face. What are you going to do about it? Right? That was what happened with us, with bin Laden. So if you don't do anything about it, then you tell the whole world that the world's strongest military is not going to do anything if you attack them. So you give everybody reason to attack. It's like they ain't going to do nothing about it anyway. So yeah, that's not how that works. Something like that, you have to do something about it. Yes, there's going to be probably a bunch of conspiracy theorists with all this other stuff. Leave a comment. That's fine. But I also noticed that, what's his name? Carl Tuckerson, I guess, has started this new thing about 9/11 recently. And I feel like it is sparked because of Candace and her thing with Charlie Kirk's death, but I feel like that's going to spark a lot of controversies with a lot of things that's going on. So, but anyway, I like the song. It's good. I like I said, I don't think at the time that, because it was, from what this says, it was put out like 7 or 8 years after the war started. So, and I don't feel like I don't think it followed itself very well, because you start out talking about, well, you start off with 9/11, which happened was those people from Afghanistan, and then you start talking about Iraq and showing all the propaganda about Iraq, and then bin Laden, which is from Afghanistan. Well, he's from Saudi Arabia, but he was in Afghanistan leading the Al-Qaeda at the time, so, which is all Afghanistan. Anyway, I appreciate y'all. If you're still here, obviously you are invested. Please do me a favor, hit that sub button, like the video. We'll see y'all in the next one. Y'all take care.